They were intense, but never safe. From the first night, everything moved too fast for language. His gaze held her like a grip. Her laugh came out sharp and bright, like glass catching light. They circled each other in a way that made the room feel smaller, as if there were only one place to stand. When they kissed, it wasn't gentle, it was precise. It was hungry in a quiet way that felt inevitable. Afterward, she sat on the edge of his bed and tried to slow her breathing without letting him see her trying. He watched her like he was waiting for a sign, not of pleasure, of loyalty. "You're different," he said. It sounded like a compliment. It also sounded like a claim. She smiled anyway. She wanted to be different for him. She didn't know why. She only knew her body had already decided. In the days that followed, they texted constantly. Not cute check-ins, dense messages, late-night confessions, thoughts that arrived at 2 a.m. like emergencies. She felt pulled toward him in a way that didn't feel like choice. It felt like gravity. He wanted to know where she was, not always directly, sometimes as jokes. "Who are you with?" with a laughing emoji. "Don't forget about me." She answered quickly because answering quickly felt like relief. When she didn't, he would go quiet. Not angry, just absent. The absence was worse than anger. Anger would have been clear. His quiet made her reach. When they were together, the intensity returned immediately. A hand on her waist that made her forget to speak. A look that made her feel too visible. She started dressing differently. Not because he asked, because she could sense what he liked, and her body chased the moment his eyes changed. One evening, she told him about a friend's party she wanted to go to. She mentioned it casually, as if it didn't matter. He said, "Without me?" The words were light, his tone was not. She smiled. "You can come if you want." He shrugged. "I'm not really into those people." She felt herself adjust. "Maybe I won't go." His face softened. He kissed her forehead like she'd made the right choice. She told herself she was choosing him. She told herself that's what relationships are. Choosing. But later, alone, she felt a thin fear under her skin. Not fear of him hurting her, fear of him withdrawing love. He didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He simply became distant in a way that made the air in the room feel colder. He liked her best when she was close, very close. When she asked for space, he didn't refuse it. He just made it expensive. Once, she said, "I'm going to spend Saturday with my sister." He smiled. "Of course." Saturday came. He sent no messages, no "have fun," no "miss you." She stared at her phone all day, pretending she wasn't. Her sister talked, laughed, poured wine. She nodded and smiled, but her attention was elsewhere, on the silence. When she got home, he finally texted, "Hope you had a nice day." She felt relief flood her so fast it made her angry. The next time she saw him, she was overly affectionate. She kissed him first. She asked questions. She laughed a little too much. He looked pleased. He pulled her into him. He said, "There you are. There you are," as if she had been lost, as if she had been wrong for leaving. She began to feel like she had to keep the intensity alive to keep the connection alive. Calm felt dangerous. Quiet felt like distance. Distance felt like losing. So she stayed bright. She stayed responsive. She stayed near. At night, after sex, she would lie awake with a strange hollow feeling. Not sadness, not regret, just the sense that she had been performing something powerful. He would fall asleep quickly, satisfied. She would stare at the ceiling and realize she didn't know how to rest in his presence. Rest felt like letting go. Letting go felt like risk. One night, she tried to tell him about a difficult memory from her childhood. She didn't even go deep, just a surface detail offered carefully. He listened, then said, "Don't dwell on that." The sentence was simple, final. She felt herself close, not dramatically, like a door gently shutting. He kissed her and said, "Come here. Let's not make it heavy." She came closer. She let him pull her into the familiar heat. Inside, something stayed untouched and alone. Later, she walked home in the early morning light and noticed her hands were trembling slightly. She didn't know if it was cold. She didn't know if it was excitement. She only knew that what they had was loud and fast and consuming. And still, her body never fully relaxed.